5 years ago, I left my corporate tech sales job where I was making almost 300K a year to go do sales for an influencer. Now, that might sound stupid, so I'm going to tell you why I did that. What are the pros and cons of tech and high ticket? So let's get into it. In tech, I was selling security software to businesses. And the security industry is booming. If you don't know, with the internet, security is just going to be a bigger and bigger deal in the future. And an example of this is when the pandemic hit, I just made even more money. Like, it didn't affect us at all. We got bigger. So what I was selling was security software and applications to medium and large size businesses. So big expensive deals, protected their data, protected them from hacks, etc. And it was a great job. It paid well, but I hated it. I hated it on a daily basis. And if you hate what you have to do every day, like the lifestyle factors, it doesn't matter how much money you make. So the first thing we're going to compare between tech in high ticket is the pay. In tech, if you get in entry level with a good job or business, you can make 50 to 100K in your first year. In high ticket, as a closer, you can also make that amount of money, no problem. So it's roughly the same entry level when you first get into it. It's not going to be a massive difference there that's worth noting in this video. But in high ticket, you don't need to go into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt to get a degree, because no good tech sales company is going to hire you without a degree. In high ticket, they don't give a fuck about a degree. A piece of paper means nothing. It is not an indicator of how well you're going to do this role or do this job. So I would say it's much easier to get into high ticket and make 50 to 100K in your first year than it is with tech. So if you just want to make money and get in with the lowest barrier of entry, high ticket all day. Most people these days, though, and this is where a lot of people watching this are going to have a problem, is they get their ego or their identity from their job, which is sad if you think about it. Like, hey, look at me. I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm in finance, whatever, right? And normal people, I have found, can't wait to tell other people. Like, what is it with dudes doing this? They can't wait to tell everybody, this is what I do. Look at me. Aren't you impressed? I'm the man. I'm like, I don't fucking care what you do. So if you're one of these people that thinks a job title is like impressive to other people, it's not, no one cares, and you think it's an indicator of your worth as a person, high ticket is not for you, because nobody knows what this is. So if you want to be able to brag to people about your job title and you think that makes you more of a man or something, it doesn't, then you should go into tech sales where you can get a corporate title or something goofy like that. Job titles, degrees, etc., none of these things make you a man. Some of the lamest people, the biggest weasels I've ever met, had the most insane, respectable job titles, and they would just throw you under the bus without even thinking about it. Your self-confidence and being a man comes from in here, and the things that you do, the things that you've achieved, and the things that you have been through, not some imaginary title. Next, and I think this is the most important factor to consider, and that is going to be what's required from you from this job. So what does that mean? In any tech sales job that I've ever seen, you're doing a lot of work to make the amount of money that you're making. So I would work all day long, calls all day, emails all day, pointless meetings all day, doing tons of shit on the weekends. It just never ends, and that was to make a low to mid six figures. In high ticket sales, there's way less work. That doesn't mean that you don't have to work hard. It just means that you have one responsibility: to take the scheduled calls and close them. That is it. So you'll have some sales meetings, sure, some emails, but the amount of work that you have to do in high ticket is way, way less. And you have the potential to make more money much faster for doing less work. This, in my opinion, is why you cannot beat this, why it's the winner for a lot of people, because you can make a ton of money for way less work than like some corporate job. And it's like basically stress-free. So are you sick of never being off call, which I hated? Like, there was never a time I couldn't be on my phone. Are you sick of the endless, pointless shit, like in a corporate environment and having to answer to like 7 people who are dumber than you? If so, then you should do high ticket. As long as you make the sales, people will leave you alone. You'll have a couple sales meetings a week, but that is basically it. So high ticket is going to give you the ability to make more money for less work than you will in tech. And this leads into the next one that I see no one ever think about before they choose a job or a complete lifelong career path. And that is, what is your life going to look like every day? So what does this mean? Most people, again, choose a job based on the title or how much money they're going to make, but they never think, okay, what is my actual daily life going to look like doing this? And with tech, after years and years of doing it, sure, you can get up to the big money, like 500K plus a year, and then you can have like a good work-life balance, right? But that might take you 10 plus years to get there. And that 10 years is going to be a grind filled with corporate bullshit. In high ticket, you have more freedom and flexibility. So you just show up, you take the scheduled calls, and that's it, you're done. And that, here, a personal example, that's how I started this business. I went part-time with the closer role, so I had the rest of the day to work on this business, and I still made a seriously high full-time income as a remote closer because I was selling for a good business. So in terms of lifestyle and having time left to live your life or do whatever, it's high ticket sales all day. And again, in tech, you can get this too, but don't expect in the first few years that you're going to make a lot of money without having to absolutely give your entire life to this business and this company. Who wants to do that? And this leads to the next one, career path. Tech sales is a great career path. It just is. You can always get a better and better job. You'll always be able to find a job. Sales and tech are two of the best industries to go into these days, and you just combine them into one. So if you're mainly concerned with that, tech sales will give that to you. So you'll basically have a path of certainty to follow that will lead to you making a lot of money in a stable career. On the other hand, high ticket sales is stable and it's not stable at the same time. What does this mean? In high ticket, you may change offers sometimes. So you may have a really good closer role that you do for a couple of years, but then you decide to jump to another offer or the business changes courses, whatever. But this happens with tech companies as well. So this is a total illusion. Like this is every company on earth. So it's really the same thing. There's no 100% certainty in any job. People get laid off and fired all the time, especially today. This is more reliable because that's not happening in this industry. From what I've seen, I have not seen a high ticket business be like, oh, we're laying people off because high ticket internet businesses are lean. There's not tons of people they have to hire. Everything is run on the internet and digitally, so they make more money. They're way more efficient, and they don't have to like lay people off because their business is trash. So this is way more reliable. This is a total bullshit illusion. So the point is that in either of these choices, it's still sales. And good salespeople are always in demand. Put it this way, once I worked one good sales job, I realized, oh, I'll never not be able to find work. I'll never not be able to make money on command. So the choice is high ticket. And in high ticket, you're going to learn how online businesses work. So you could go and start your own business in a few years or whatever you want. You're going to learn the ins and outs, all the pieces and moving parts. So it sets you up to take other paths. There's growth paths in high ticket that go in multiple ways. You could start your own business. You could start your own offer. You could show online businesses how to scale. You could do what I'm doing, connect businesses with salespeople. You could get into the AI stuff. There's just endless possibilities. So I would say the right answer is high ticket. Next, let's do a similar topic, which is stability. If you are in a situation where you need to have a guaranteed check coming in every like 2 weeks, then I would do tech. High ticket sales, as I mentioned before, maybe you have to change an offer. Maybe something happened with the business and now you have to spend a week or two finding a new offer, which is no big deal. I've done that many times and it's no problem, but I don't have 5 kids and a mountain of like ridiculous bills. You know what I'm saying? But if that is your situation and you've got a bunch of mouths to feed and you literally are living penny to penny, paycheck to paycheck, then you should probably do tech. Long term, both are very stable. And high ticket sales is an obvious long-term choice, which I've discussed ad nauseum on this channel. But in short term, if you have to have that certainty, then go with tech sales. But anytime you look at something in the short term, it's always a bad idea long term, right? That's never the way you want to look at things. Now, my personal opinion on why I did not like tech sales, and you can do with this information whatever you will. I don't really care. I hated the corporate environment. I despised it in every cell and atom of my body. The amount of stupid rules you have to follow that are absolutely pointless, the amount of dumb morons that you have to interact with, nothing about it makes any sense. Every 5 seconds, I'm like, why are we doing this? What? What is the point of this? This is counterproductive to my job and everything that makes sense for the company. It's like working at a fucking circus. And for me, that was a living nightmare. I literally was dying there. Not like, oh, I'm dying. Like, I was dying. I'd be dead by now if I'd stayed there. Like, I would have physically died. Now, contrast that with my experience in high ticket sales. The jobs work like it's supposed to. If you do the simple work that you are responsible for doing, then that is all you have to do and people will leave you alone. Shocking. So if you want to get paid a lot for doing simple, effective work, you should do high ticket sales. And like I said, in high ticket, you can make very good money very quickly and still keep a lot of freedom and flexibility in your life. And I think that applies to most people, or appeals to most people. So it's not like I'm just biased to this or something. Most people want that type of life. That's the punchline of the video. It's not a biased video. It's just obvious. Don't you want more money for less bullshit? High ticket then. Next thing, if benefits is a big deal to you, then you should do tech sales. A lot of times, you're not going to get benefits in high ticket sales. These are 1099 roles. So if you have a family and you rely on these benefits, then high ticket sales may not be for you. But with the amount of money that you make, the increased amount of money you're going to make, you can more than afford anything that comes up. Insurance is a massive scam. All you idiots in the comment section are like, oh, internet business, these are scams. Insurance is a scam. You're being scammed all day. You're an idiot. Health insurance is a huge scam. You're paying for something every month that you have a 50% shot of getting denied for when you try to claim it. They're just going to be like, nope, sorry, and run off with your money. That's a scam. And the second point is you are relying on something outside of yourself to take care of you. What are you, a female? If you are a man, you need to make more money. Then you can handle anything that comes up. How are you comfortable relying on an insurance company to potentially, hypothetically take care of you if you need it? They're not gonna. They're gonna fuck you. They're gonna bend you over and run the other way. You're getting scammed. Benefits are a scam. The only insurance I've ever paid for is car insurance, because you have to have that. If I get rear-ended by some moron, which probably happens every other day out here, and I don't have insurance, now I have problems to deal with. And I don't need that shit. That's a waste of my time. So for some reason, you are like super addicted to having benefits and you live in this delusion that that's protecting you, then tech sales is for you. If you think, which is kind of funny because it's like the morons that would work in some corporation and also think insurance is like protecting them, of course you do both these things. So if you think benefits or insurance is necessary in any situation, it's because you don't make enough money, period. That's the punchline. Next thing I think is important. If you decide to do tech sales, you are going to have to start as an SDR, and eventually you can get up to account executive or whatever. But an SDR is just a glorified appointment setter. When you get into tech sales entry level, you're not getting on sales calls. You're not getting on demos right away. When you start, you are just hitting lists. You're just doing dials. You're just doing outreach, all day outreach. That is what you will be doing when you get into tech entry level. And even when you get to an account executive, if you do get there, you get to do the meetings and the actual sales calls now, but you're still doing dials as well. So you'll still be doing outbound in tech sales. There's no way around that. You'll be doing a lot of it. In high ticket as a closer, your primary job is inbound scheduled calls with minimal outbound. You will do follow-ups in a pipeline for sure and some dials, but the primary function of a high ticket closer is inbound scheduled calls. And in high ticket, even in your first year, you're also going to get to learn how, as I mentioned before, how other aspects of internet businesses work, which is the future. So in my first year of closing, just in the first year, I hands-on got to learn how sales funnels worked, how paid advertisements worked, everything, which these skills are massive money makers. And you're getting a crash course in them front row seat just from doing the sales. If you want to make a lot of money, you need to learn how to drive traffic. You need to learn copywriting, online sales funnels, and all these things you get a front row seat to when you're a closer that is taking calls. You don't get to learn any of this stuff in tech. You're going to hammer the list, you're going to take the meetings, and you are completely separate from the rest of the business. There's no interaction. No skills being learned outside of sales. It will help you develop your sales skills, sure, but none of these other ones that I just mentioned. High ticket, in summary, gives you a chance to learn all these other skills that you can take and make big money with later. That's a no-brainer to me. I want to stack. I don't know about you. Now, I'm not trying to bash tech. There are many people who tech sales is right for, and because most people are normies, so most people should go do the corporate 9 to 5 and get their soul sucked dry. And I think I clarified who those people are in this video. I gave you more than enough information in this video to make an educated, informed decision. The final reason that I like high ticket sales is that it sets you up to really succeed and make big money later. You cannot compete with this growth path. You're going to learn skills. You're going to open doors for yourself. You're going to get to meet cool, successful, rich people. In tech sales, you've committed to one lane, tech. You'll climb that ladder. You'll stay in this very cut off, closed off section of the company, and that will be it. Now, again, if you want the traditional path that your family, you imagine, will praise you for this job title and you can tell people all about it, then you should do tech. You can make a lot of money in tech, absolutely, but it will take a lot longer than it will in high ticket. And you're not going to get any of the other benefits that I've listed in this video. So that's the end of the video. If you want my help getting a closer role or a setter role, links in the description.